What's up, guys? This weekend, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse dropped in theaters, so today I'm going to be giving you guys my full spoiler review on the film. So if you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out because I'm sure you'll have a great time with it, and then come back and watch this review. With that said, let's dive into it. Alright, so Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is an awesome movie, probably the most beautifully stunning film I've ever seen in my life. The visuals are absolutely amazing. There's so much contrast, so much color, and everything just mixes so nicely. The color palette, the visuals, every scene is just framed so nicely, and you can see little details in every single shot, which is so cool. They do such a great job with making this animation and layering all the paints, textures, and you can just feel these worlds coming to life, which is just so interesting and so cool to watch. And it just all looks so stunning. There's so many beautiful standout moments, and I could point out millions of scenes where there's just so many small, minute details where they use different types of animation, different styles, pastel, everything. There's paints, there's so much going on inside this animation, and it's just so stunning to look at. Definitely a highlight of the movie. Then we gotta talk about some of the other things. The characters in this film are awesome as well. Everyone gets a moment to shine, and everyone does something that's interesting to me and actually makes me like their character. I think there's not a single bad main character inside this film, and everyone just gets a nice little moment to shine that makes me like their character. There's just a lot to love about these characters, and the way that they are written is just so nice, so well done. Especially with Gwen and Miles in this film, their relationship and then them dealing with their family stories and their struggles is just so cool. Being able to find comfort within each other, that was just an important part of the story. There's a lot of great comedy as well. Definitely some laugh out loud moments that are so cool. And of course the cameos, which are also really funny. There's a lot of great cameos where we got Mrs. Chen from the Venom movies, who was there at the convenience store when Spock goes into his little portal. That was pretty funny. That was a nice cameo. And there's a lot of great funny little cameos that are in there. There's the Lego Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, and some of them make like little quips, little jokes, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it's just so cool to see all these spider people inside this film, and it's just crazy to watch. So fun, so many details, and it just looks so nice. And then of course you gotta talk about the little scenes with Andrew and Toby as you get little holograms of their origin stories, and then Uncle Ben dying and stuff like that. Honestly, pretty cool to see them in the background, and I'm definitely sure they're going to be showing up in Beyond the Spider-Verse. Now we gotta talk about our antagonists, or you could say our villains. Spot, he is kind of underutilized in this film. I thought we would be getting more of him, but it's just building us up for Beyond the Spider-Verse, and I'm excited for that. He's really funny, he's cool, and just seeing his progression as a villain throughout the film was very nice to see. And then, of course, we got Miguel O'Hara, who I don't think is actually a villain, but he's definitely an antagonist in this film. And I think they did a great job with writing Miguel O'Hara's character and just how kind of a darker story he has, as a whole dimension was destroyed of him, a whole universe was his fault that it was destroyed, as he kind of broke the canon. And that's kind of the point of this movie, is showing us about the canon. And I honestly thought it felt a little weird. It's a kind of little bit weird storyline that these things must happen, and I didn't totally enjoy that all that much, that storyline. But I feel like they're going to make sense of it in Beyond the Spider-Verse, and we'll just have to wait and see. Now, my main issue with this film that kind of holds it back for me is that it just doesn't feel like a movie. It kind of feels like a TV show episode where it ends on a cliffhanger and you're just going to go and watch the next episode. But with this movie, you can't. You have to wait till Beyond the Spider-Verse. The way it cuts you off, it just doesn't feel right. Now, I like cliffhangers. I like endings that are just kind of random, that just you never expect it to end right there. But it just doesn't really work for this movie because it doesn't feel like you actually watched the full movie. It felt like you watched an episode of TV. And going through it in my mind, it feels like not that much happened throughout the film. Yeah, Spider-Mans are chasing down Miles. Spot is getting a bit powerful. Miles is then trapped in the opposite world in Earth 42. And then boom, ends. There's not much going on. There's not much story. It didn't even feel like 2 hours and 20 minutes, even though it's the longest Hollywood released blockbuster, the animated film, which is kind of crazy to me because it didn't even feel like that. But I bet once we get Beyond the Spider-Verse, I'll be fine with how it all kind of connects together and how it all unfolds. But right now, it just feels really weird that they just end it right there because it doesn't even feel like a full movie. Another small couple nitpicks were with Gwen's dad's relationship. I honestly thought it was pretty nice, but the way he reacted in the beginning just made no sense. It was kind of out of the blue. It's like, are you really going to arrest your daughter because you actually think she murdered her best friend? Like, I know it was just out of a quick reaction, and he wasn't really thinking about it, but I don't know, it just felt really off to me. And then I feel like there were a lot of underutilized characters that I definitely wanted to see more of. especially with Spot, and then we definitely want to see more of Miguel O'Hara, and I definitely want to see more of our old characters from Into the Spider-Verse, as Spider-Man Noir, Penny, and Peter Porker. We're going to be in Beyond the Spider-Verse, so I'm really happy about that. But yeah, I kind of wish they were more in this film. Overall, it was just really cool to see unfold. But now we gotta talk about the ending, and the way it leaves off, I didn't like that all that much, like I mentioned before. But it is just so sudden that it makes you grasping for more. You want to watch Beyond the Spider-Verse right now. That's kind of where it leaves you at. Very hyped up, very excited to watch Beyond the Spider-Verse, and I guess that's a good thing. Of course, Miles is stuck on Earth 42, and he realizes that the version of himself on that Earth is actually the Prowler, which is kind of crazy. And then seeing the New York aesthetic for that world, how it's so dark and gritty with no Spider-Man in it, that was pretty cool to watch. And it was super interesting, a pretty big twist that you could kind of catch coming if you're paying close attention, but I didn't, and I was very surprised, and I was very happy with that twist. Now, I didn't like where it ended, but that's alright, and overall it was just a really great experience. Visually stunning, comedic, funny, great characters, just a really nice story. Now, I'm very, very excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse, and if it lives up to Across the Spider-Verse, this is going to be my favorite movie trilogy of all time, as the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite movie of all time. So it's going to be a great trilogy. I absolutely loved Across the Spider-Verse. Probably going to need a couple more watches before I amp up the score, but for now, I'm going to be giving it a 9 out of 10. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is an absolute awesome film, and it's a great time. Tell me what you guys thought about the movie down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.